Carnage and tragedy strikes the heart of Melbourne in a street that's already seen so much devastation.
We are still working through to determine whether this is a deliberate or a reckless act.
Get back that way, go around.
A 76-year-old man killed when his car was rammed and 5 others badly hurt.
Our hearts go out to them. They're in our thoughts and prayers of what will be a very, very difficult time.
It's just very surprising to see that this can happen right in the heart of the city.
Police say a 26-year-old man from Melton West on Melbourne's Western Fringe was driving his mother's car when he turned from Elizabeth into Bourke Street around 6:20 last night, driving along the tram lines and veering to the right, hitting 3 pedestrians around Swanston Street. He sped away at up to 70 kilometres per hour before T-boning a Hyundai, killing the driver from Brunswick. That car then crashed into a Mazda being used as an Uber, the 2 occupants suffering seatbelt injuries.
At this stage, we've ruled out terrorism as being any factor in this. He has no prior criminal history. He's not on bail. He's in effect a clean skin.
But police did help him with mental health care 3 years ago.
We had absolutely no indication whatsoever of any prior erratic driving or any warning that this incident would occur.
After the crash, he sat on the roof of the car ranting until his arrest.
It felt very eerie, like as soon as you walked up you knew it wasn't good.
Police fear it'll revive memories and trauma for those caught up in the 2017 Bourke Street massacre that claimed 6 lives and injured dozens of pedestrians. Almost 2 years later, a terrorist stabbed 3 people, killing 1 and set his car on fire. And in 2021, a scare when a car sped through the mall, only stopped by a bollard which had been installed as part of a major city safety upgrade.
There's nothing more that can be done to avoid, for instance, an incident like this.
By and large, Melbourne is one of the safest cities in the world.
A city that's once again mourning another life lost.
And Stephanie Ferrier joins us now from the Royal Melbourne Hospital. Steph, what's happening with the driver now?
Good evening, Mary. Well, the 26-year-old remains under police guard here at the Royal Melbourne Hospital, and police say that there is no update tonight on his cognitive state. Forensic medical officers still believe that he is mentally unfit to be interviewed by homicide detectives. Victoria Police Chief Commissioner Shane Patton says that at this stage there is no indication that drugs were a factor. He says that this driver was clearly ranting and making certain utterings just before his arrest, and while he won't go into exactly what was said, he says that this will be important in determining whether or not this man intended to cause these injuries and this fatality. He says that the mental health treatment that this man needed and in fact received will also form part of the police investigation and any coronial inquest. And police have also released details of those pedestrians who were hurt. A 26-year-old man from Kew has head trauma and a suspected fractured pelvis. A 35-year-old woman from Docklands has head injuries as well and a suspected broken arm. And a 23-year-old woman from China has head injuries as well and also a neck fracture and a broken pelvis and other injuries as well. Now, we know that one of those patients remains in a serious condition here at the Royal Melbourne Hospital and the other 2 are listed as stable.
Stephanie Ferrier, thank you for the update. The spotlight is once again on safety measures in Melbourne CBD. In the wake of the 2017 Bourke Street tragedy, authorities installed permanent protective barriers, including hundreds of steel bollards and reinforced barriers in 9 high-profile public places, including the mall.
There's a lot of work, both subtle and obvious, that has taken place there.
They also expanded the city's CCTV network and installed almost 100 public address speakers. All measures were reviewed after the scare in 2021. Over the years, there have been calls for more protections, reiterated after this tragedy.
They should be looking at all the options and it might include more fixed bollards, perhaps looking at retractable bollards, which are common in cities overseas. But clearly signage alone is not going to cut it.
To have retractable bollards at every single entrance, every possible place where cars might go up and down tram lines, tram tracks, gets very, very challenging.
Many experts agree there are no easy answers.
There's lots of restrictions as to why bollards can't be improved, which makes securing some spaces from, motor vehicle incidents like this incredibly difficult to do.
In the short term, Victoria Police will be putting more patrols in place to reassure people in and around the city.
We will have those visible patrols and I would urge them, if they do need assistance, to seek that assistance.